Hi guys, it's Hannah and welcome back to another Vlogmas video. I guess this video isn't really considered a vlog, but my sister and I's goal is to watch all of the Disney Channel Christmas episodes and rate them. So I watched 7 of them so far, and this video I will be rating them, ranking the first 7, and explaining why. These episodes are not listed in any particular order, but I will rank them at the end. So let's get into it. Not gonna lie, some of these were pretty hard to do because we hadn't watched the newer ones, so it was kind of hard to understand what was going on in the episode, but we tried to be generous when it came to the ones where we didn't really understand the characters or the plots or anything. One final disclaimer is that there will be spoilers in this videos, but that being said, I will put the episode numbers and episode titles in the description box below so that you can check them out for yourself. Okay, so the first episode that we watched was the season 1 Christmas episode of Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. This episode is so good and so funny. First of all, it's so festive, and the hotel decorated for Christmas is just absolutely gorgeous. I just want to go there. Second, it just made me happy. I don't know why. The first part that I really liked about this was the Maddie part where she made everyone pick her name out of the Secret Santa hat and they got her gifts. It was pretty funny. That's something that I would do. Also, Arwen the maintenance guy, he's awesome. I love that guy. My favorite part of the full episode, you can ask anyone that was in my house today I watched this. I thought it was so funny. I was full on rolling on the floor laughing, full on ruffling. And it's the part where the pregnant lady comes in and they're like, oh, sorry, there's too many people, we don't have a room. And then they're like, you can just use the elevator. And she goes in the elevator, and then the boys are in the elevator too, and her water breaks in the middle of the elevator. And they try to help her. But the funny thing is that it's there's no room in the inn, so she had to go to the manger. I don't know. I just thought the whole thing was really funny. I loved the reference that they made. It was pretty top tier. I did like the part where the boys were interacting with the mom and the dad, even though they're divorced. But I don't know. I feel like they could have picked another storyline for that part, and it would have been a little bit better. I don't know. Because everything else in the episode was so funny, and that was kind of just a mid storyline in the middle of it. So it's kind of weird. Overall, I rate this episode a 9.5 out of 10. I loved it. The next episode I watched was the season 1 Christmas episode of That's So Raven. Okay. So, just a forewarning, if you're a big That's So Raven fan, I'm sorry. I was really critical with this episode. I don't know why, but I was. I'll start off with the positives. It was a very festive episode, I feel like. And the storyline, very much so, revolved around the holiday. And Raven's outfits are always top tier. I wish I had her style. However, this episode was really stressful, not gonna lie. Ditching school, just whenever that's in any episode, it just stresses me out because I'm they're gonna get in trouble. What are they doing? And then they always do end up getting in trouble. And then there's always a big oh, it's okay, it doesn't really matter, it's fine, I forgive you. But whatever, you get in trouble. And I do not want to have to wait the full episode and watch you ditch school so that I can just watch you get in trouble. That just makes me uncomfortable. Secondhand embarrassment. Also, it really bothers me when people open up their Christmas presents before Christmas. And that's what Raven did. She opened up her gift from her mom before Christmas, and she snuck out and wore it, and then Chelsea wore it, and then lost it, and then they just ditched school to get it back. It was just, don't open your gift in the first place. That's what Christmas is for. That's what the excitement of the season is for. To wait till the day to open it up, and that's what it's for. You don't need to open it up a week beforehand. You're gonna get it in a week. Who cares if it was good with your outfit? Though our outfits are always good. You do not need that for your outfit. Also, in this whole episode, Raven was an absolute jerk to her parents, and that is unexcusable. That was another thing that gave me secondhand embarrassment. I hate it when people are like rude to their parents and it's like on TV. I just don't like it. She was like ditching them, and they were like, oh, we have all these fun traditions, and she's like, no, I have plans with other people. Sorry, I'm too busy for you. But they were like probably upset. Like, they've done these things for like her whole life, and she knew she liked it, but she just insisted that she was like obsessing over it, like the whole gift thing and her friends this whole time. And really, it was unnecessary if she just didn't open up the gift in the first place. Another positive that I forgot to say is that the teacher being Santa, and when his day off is that he's Santa, that's really funny. So, I mean, it was a pretty festive episode, but it was really stressful, so I rated it a 4 out of 10. This next one is by far the most Christmassy episode of all time, and that is Shake It Up, Jingle It Up. This episode is just perfect in so many ways. Like, Dina is truly an underrated character, and she was shining in this episode. She is so funny, and her singing, it was so bad, but it was like funny bad. Like, it didn't make me cringe. It was like, that's funny. And then Flynn, his singing was supposed to be like really good, so they had him lip sync it, and it was like this really high pitch. It was so funny, and I think they made it like obvious that he was lip syncing, and that's what made it extra funny. The whole thing where Rocky was trying to get the gift for the kid, and it turned out to be Flynn, that was so funny. Everything was just so funny. And then in the little transition scene things, I don't know what those are called, the transition slides, it was Christmas in Chicago, and it was just, I loved it. This episode is perfect on so many levels. And there's another episode that I really love, which is like also perfect, but this one, so perfect. So this one is like a million out of 10, but I know that's not like on the scale, so 10 out of 10. This next show I never heard of until I was making this video, and it's Gabby Dern and the Unsittables, and we watched the season 1 Christmas episode. So I feel like we can't grade this as strict as I may have done the other ones, because I obviously don't know the full show, and this was the only episode we watched, so I didn't like know the characters, the storyline, or anything. And this show is very much like, I don't know, there was a concept behind it, and it took my sister and I a long time to catch on. So first of all, the positives. I thought their house was really pretty and modern and decorated nicely for Christmas. That obviously matters to me a lot. And the camera quality was so good. I mean, obviously it's newer, but it was just like, it was higher camera quality than like what my eyes can see. The concept of the show was pretty interesting. I mean, again, I didn't really understand it but that's like not their fault. That's my fault. I found it to be a little creepy and gross at some parts. Like, there was one part where, I don't know this guy, but Gabby wanted him to turn into her and her sister's father so that he can be home for Christmas. So in order to make this guy turn into her dad, she needed to like take out this like weird stalk of his hair that she just like collected. And then he ate it, and like he like shape-shifted into him. It was kind of creepy, but honestly it was kind of cool at the same time. I thought some of the parts of this episode were really good, and I liked the Christmassy aspects, but I just thought it was a little creepy. So I rate this a 6 out of 10. If you know me, you know that Good Luck Charlie is like my favorite show of all time. So this one I watched, even though I've seen it like a million gazillion times, and that is season 3, episode 21, A Very Duncan Christmas. This is the episode where Bob's mom / the grandma comes into town, and things just get a little crazy. I don't think I have a single negative thing to say about this episode. The grandma is hilarious. Like, the whole bam whatnot thing with Amy and the grandma, it's just so funny. And like the banter, the constant banter, like, oh, I'm gonna do an impression of a family member. Wanna see? Gets me every time. I even use that quote in my day-to-day life because I just find it so funny. It's just a good, like, one-liner to, like, pull out, like, oh, I can do an impression of, like, I don't know. I love to use that one. And it's all to quote Amy Duncan. Love her. Another thing, the fact that Teddy always gets in trouble at Super Adventureland, I don't know. It's just really funny. And she, like, gets into a fight with Santa in this, and they like go to town. They go hard in this fight. And she goes to jail, and she's like behind bars, and then the Santa comes, and then Santa is pleaded guilty, as he should. No, we love Santa. And then the last thing, by far my absolute favorite thing, and this, any Disney Channel Christmas episode ever, this is like the best moment in this is the best moment in Disney Channel history ever. And it is Spencer and Teddy's song that they sing together when they do the Duncan Family Talent Show. It's just so heartwarming and cute, and that's on all of my Christmas playlists. It's so good. You should listen to it. I know I really hyped up the Shake It Up episode, and that was my favorite. But this episode is right up there with that one. And so that makes this episode a 10 out of 10. My sister and I, during COVID, binged watched all of Boy Meets World, so we feel like this one was necessary, even though it was kind of like really early Disney Channel, we had to include it. So this episode we watched was the episode where Topanga stays over at Corey's house for Christmas. And of course, I love Boy Meets World. I did find this episode to be a little boring at times. I really liked the whole Christmas Carol concept with Mr. Feeney, and I love Mr. Feeney, so he's a class act. And like it showed like the future of Corey and like his future versus Topanga's future, but Topanga was being really high maintenance. Like, it's not her house. And she was just trying to control everything, and she wanted all of her traditions. But, like, it's not the same. You're at his house for Christmas. But Corey and Topanga, they're like the power couple. I love them. They're so cute together. And my sister loved this episode. I didn't like it as much as she did, but I think this episode was really good. And I rate this one a 8.75 out of 10. And of course, we could not rate Boy Meets World without rating the Girl Meets World Christmas episode. Girl Meets World, good show. But the script is just a little interesting, like the dialogue that the characters have. All the nostalgia with the old characters coming back for this episode, like the dad, Sean, you gotta love it. But the whole relationship between Maya, Riley, and Sean just made me extremely uncomfortable. Like, I know he's like Uncle Sean. He's like an uncle figure for Riley. But she doesn't really know him that well. And she was kind of obsessing over him. And so was Maya. It was just weird. And then Corey and Sean were like obsessing over Riley and Maya, and it's like their lives revolve around the two girls when they don't. They're like 12, so the whole world does not revolve around them. And I know that's like part of the show is like Girl Meets World, like, oh, it's such a bigger world than they think it is, but they make it like the full world is revolving around them, and it's kind of annoying, not gonna lie. Also, this episode wasn't really that Christmassy, which, you know me, I'm a sucker for Christmas stuff, so that was kind of a little disappointing. But the Disney Channel houses are always the best, but this one's my favorite. I just love New York City apartment, but it's like the window seat, cozy, Christmas tree. It was really pretty. I liked this episode. But to go along with the whole window seat thing, Sean and Corey were just like sitting in Riley's room. Like, you can't tell me that that's not weird. I loved the atmosphere of this episode, and I loved the nostalgia from the old characters, and I loved the continuation of the story, of the Boy Meets World story, but I don't know. Parts of it just made me a little uncomfy. So I rate this a 3 out of 10. So here is my final ranked list of the episodes that I watched for this video. Anyways, thank you so much for watching my video. I really had a lot of fun making this one because I got to watch like all these shows, and a lot of them I haven't seen before, surprisingly. So that was especially fun. And watching Christmas shows or movies always gets me in the spirit. I will be making a part 2 of this video later in the month, so stay tuned for that. And I will be posting new Vlogmas videos every single day up until Christmas. And you don't want to miss that. So make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss them. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!